John had always thought he had the perfect marriage. He and his wife, Sarah, had been together for over a decade and had 2 beautiful children. They were happy, or so he thought. Little did he know, Sarah had been feeling neglected and unloved for years. John had become so consumed with work that he had forgotten about the woman who stood by his side through thick and thin. One day, while John was away on a business trip, Sarah met a man at a coffee shop. His name was David, and he was charming, handsome, and everything John wasn't. Sarah was immediately drawn to him, and before she knew it, they had exchanged numbers. For the first time in years, Sarah felt desired and alive. David showed her the attention and affection that John had long forgotten. They began meeting up regularly, and soon enough, their meetings turned into a full-blown affair. John had no idea what was happening. He was still consumed with work, and Sarah had become an expert at hiding her infidelity. But one day, John noticed a change in Sarah's behavior. She was more distant than usual, and he could tell that something was wrong. It wasn't until he stumbled upon some incriminating text messages on her phone that he realized the truth. Sarah had been cheating on him for months, and he had been completely oblivious. John was devastated. He felt like his entire world had crumbled beneath him. He confronted Sarah, and she tearfully confessed to her infidelity. John was left with a choice to make. Should he forgive his wife and try to salvage their marriage, or should he leave her and start anew? In the end, John chose to forgive Sarah. He realized that he had been neglecting her for years and that he was partly to blame for her infidelity. They went to counseling, and over time, they were able to rebuild their relationship. Their marriage was never the same, but they were able to find a new kind of love and respect for each other. John learned a valuable lesson about the importance of communication and making time for the people you love. The experience was painful, but it ultimately brought them closer together. Sarah's infidelity may have rocked John to the core, but it also taught him that love is worth fighting for, even in the face of betrayal. Sophie had always been content with her life. She had a loving husband, a beautiful home, and 2 wonderful children. But one day, everything changed when she met Tom. Tom was charming, confident, and everything that Sophie's husband wasn't. He made her feel alive in ways she never thought possible. And soon enough, Sophie found herself falling for him. At first, Sophie tried to resist her feelings for Tom. She reminded herself of her commitment to her husband and family. But the more time she spent with Tom, the harder it became to resist him. Sophie and Tom started meeting in secret, stealing kisses and embraces when they could. Their passion for each other was intense and all-consuming, and soon they were both consumed by guilt and desire. Sophie knew that what she was doing was wrong, but she couldn't stop herself. She was addicted to the rush of adrenaline that came with sneaking around with Tom, and she couldn't imagine going back to her old life. As time went on, Sophie's husband started to notice that something was off. He questioned her about her behavior and suspected that she was having an affair. Sophie denied it, but her guilt was eating away at her. Eventually, Sophie was forced to choose between her husband and Tom. She knew that staying with her husband meant giving up the excitement and passion that she had with Tom, but she also knew that leaving her husband would mean breaking up her family and hurting the people she loved. In the end, Sophie chose her husband and family. She ended things with Tom and tried to move on with her life, but she knew that she would never forget the intense passion and forbidden love that they shared. The experience changed Sophie in ways she never thought possible. She realized that even the most content and happy people can be consumed by desire and that the consequences of adultery can be devastating. In the end, Sophie learned that true love is about more than just passion and desire. It's about commitment, loyalty, and putting the needs of others above your own.